Just a storm we didn't see coming. What we can learn? Prepare. Adapt. Sign up for alerts. Prepare an emergency kit. Secure your windows. Share awareness. And never assume safety in silence, because nature doesn't send invitations. It sends warnings. We just have to be ready to hear them. In tragedy, humanity shines. Volunteer medics set up mobile aid tents. Families opened their homes to strangers. Businesses donated tarps, water, food. At a flooded school, teachers sang songs to calm terrified students. One street food vendor sheltered 10 people under his cart. Shanghai didn't collapse. It endured. Together. Shanghai's hail disaster isn't isolated. Similar storms hit Chengdu and Wuhan in the past 2 years. In the U.S., Dallas and Denver have seen billion-dollar hail damage. Cities aren't ready. Skyscrapers, glass facades, and dense populations make urban hail catastrophically dangerous. As climate shifts, urban planners must redesign buildings with storm resilience in mind. Stronger glass, emergency shelter zones, early alert systems that actually alert. Hail is no longer a freak event, it's a recurring threat. Property damage. Over 30,000 insurance claims were filed within 24 hours. Car dealerships reported complete losses. Shopping centers canceled all activity. High-rise offices shut down due to shattered windows and safety risks. Injuries. More than 170 people were treated for wounds. Emergency clinics overflowed. Hospitals called in off-duty staff. The Red Cross provided temporary shelter to the displaced. Transport shut down. Metro lines 2, 7, and 13 were partially suspended. Bus services rerouted. Over 380 flights delayed or grounded at Pudong International and Hongqiao. Economic toll. Preliminary estimates placed total losses above 300 million RMB, around 42 million US dollars, and rising. Shanghai's mayor declared a citywide state of water emergency and deployed cleanup crews overnight. Thousands of workers cleared debris, patched roofs, and restored electricity. But the real cost wasn't just economic, it was psychological. Citizens feared the next unexpected disaster. Could the city withstand a stronger storm? Meteorologists were stunned. How could this scale of destruction come from the sky in summer? Experts pointed to a rare convergence of meteorological events. Warm, moist air from the South China Sea collided with a sudden high-altitude cold front moving from the northwest. The temperature contrast created explosive instability. Massive updrafts hurled moisture into the upper atmosphere, freezing and forming hailstones. Normally they'd fall small, but these were caught again and again in supercooled layers growing and growing until they became weapons. The largest recovered hailstone in central Shanghai measured 6.3 centimeters in diameter, larger than a golf ball, nearly tennis ball size. Wind gusts over 130 kilometers per hour turned these ice chunks into deadly projectiles. Such storms are rare in coastal megacities, but experts warn, climate change is shifting patterns. What was once rare is becoming reality. Shanghai residents took to social media in shock. The sky just broke open, one woman tweeted, showing her balcony smashed to bits. A teacher live-streamed students crying in a classroom where windows had burst in. We used chairs to block the wind. We had nothing else. A motorcyclist helmet cam showed him weaving through frozen chaos. Hail bouncing off the road like golf balls. Weibo exploded with the hashtag #HailstormHell. millions of shares, thousands of pleas for help. From hospital beds, injured citizens uploaded pictures of their wounds, disbelief in their eyes. It wasn't just weather, one survivor said. It felt like war. For the next 15 minutes, the city was under siege, not from bombs or fire, but from ice. A thunderous roar filled the air as hailstones pelted every exposed surface. Vehicles. Parked cars were pummeled mercilessly. Windshields shattered, side mirrors snapped, paint jobs were shredded like paper. Dash cams captured drivers ducking in terror as their cars were beaten from all sides. A Rolls-Royce, its hood caved in, became an overnight symbol of the storm's wrath. Buildings. Glass towers in Pudong saw windows explode outward, sending shards raining down onto sidewalks. Malls lost their skylights. A sports center roof collapsed under the accumulating weight. Security footage showed furniture flying inside offices as wind burst through broken panes. People. On the streets, dozens were injured before they could find shelter. Viral clips showed a courier diving under a delivery cart, shielding his head with a helmet. A grandmother was pulled bleeding from beneath a shattered bus stop. Children cried in panic as teachers formed human shields. Emergency services were overwhelmed. 119 and 120 hotlines rang non-stop. Ambulances struggled to navigate hail-slicked roads. Police urged people to stay indoors, but for many, it was too late. The storm was swift and violent. By the time it passed, the damage was staggering. 2:03 p.m., Shanghai. A bustling, ordinary summer afternoon. The skyline glinted under a partly cloudy sky. Locals strolled along Nanjing Road, sipping iced teas and shopping. Delivery drivers zipped past intersections. Office workers scrolled on their phones, heading into meetings. But above them, the atmosphere was changing rapidly. Unnoticed by most, dark clouds gathered with unnatural speed over the Yangtze River Delta. The wind stilled, then shifted. In just 12 minutes, light turned to shadow. A chilling breeze swept across the city, sending stray papers flying. Birds abandoned trees in panic. And then, an explosive crack echoed like gunfire. The first hailstone struck a metal roof with a violent clang, then another, and another. Within seconds, the sky opened. Chunks of ice, jagged, heavy, cold, rained from above. People screamed, scattered, ducked under bus stops and store awnings. Umbrellas offered no protection. They were torn apart instantly. Shanghai had entered the eye of an unexpected and devastating ice storm. This isn't just weather. This is war from the sky. It started as a quiet afternoon in Shanghai. Within minutes, that silence was obliterated. Giant hailstones, some the size of tennis balls, turned the streets into disaster zones. Glass shattered, cars crushed, people injured, terrified, running for cover. It struck without mercy and without warning.